I want to know, can you see yourself being well known for what you do? The great thing about the internet is that it puts us in front of millions of people for that to actually happen. Just like the title says, you will be a well known brand this upcoming year. So you're going to rewrite your story. You're going to build this brand. You're going to create a natural flow with your content and your business. When you choose to level up, things start coming at you. So you're going to build the resilience to all the criticism and all the setbacks that are going to come your way. You're increasing your visibility and your opportunities, and you're upping your clientele from social media, filling up that bank account, all the things. And this is all because you are making a conscious decision to build in public so the whole world can see it. One thing you cannot do is allow any fears of being perfect succumb you, the self-doubt, the criticism from yourself, because we could be our toughest critics or others. So we're going to go over a routine that will make content creation and building the brand way more manageable than it has been for you right now. Because ultimately, that's what we are here to do. We're here to grow our brands, but you have to be comfortable with building in public. That's the first step. You just got to believe it and be willing to put yourself out there to attract this outcome. As a brand and content strategist, I help creative entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and multipreneurs build the brand, build the business, create the content, all without sacrificing your well-being. So how do you become the go-to person for that specific thing that you do or that you want to do? How are you going to be a well-known brand? Let's go ahead and talk about it. So I'm going to cover 6 things: the audit, the alignment check, the system, the schedule, the support, and the feedback. You're going to start with a content audit. The goal with the audit is to reflect on what you're doing right now or some of the strategies that you currently have when it comes to content creation. What outcomes are those strategies getting you? Is it working? Is it not working? Because if it's not, you should be actively making changes that gets you your return on investment. And business is all about innovating and being creative, and that's a part of it. You want to make sure that you're getting the investment for the time that you're putting into building your brand and creating all of this content. Think of an audit like taking inventory of your online presence, similar to how a store would count what's on their shelves, what more of which product they need, or which product do they not need to order as much. If you're going to build a well-known brand, you are going to do it right, like the big brands do when they go in the boardrooms and they're meeting with their teams. You may not necessarily have a team, but that's why you have me. So this audit you can find in my all-in-one content calendar in Notion in the monthly reflections and analytics section. This isn't your typical content calendar. It includes every single thing about the content creation process. And this is coming from somebody whose job is to study content, and not just content from social media, but email content, blog content, SEO content, podcast, content for your funnels on your landing pages. So that content calendar is going to be very helpful for you. And the reason why you want to do this inventory of your brand and your content, because if you happen to be spending hours cooking meals nobody wants to eat as a restaurant owner, that would be frustrating and wasteful. Same thing goes for your business. You don't want to spend time creating content that nobody is going to engage with. So this audit is going to help you focus on what your audience actually wants. Stop wasting time on things that don't work. Make better decisions about your future content and grow your online presence in a way that it's more effective, that it actually gets you results. It's going to include those current activities. You may want to break down what is that game plan when it comes to your marketing, your content creation. After you do that, you want to do a analysis of your success. What's actually working working well for you. So maybe you're on Instagram and you give stories and tips a lot, and that gets a lot of replies from people. Or maybe your blog posts, they get shared a lot. Even with the emails, maybe your email newsletters might have a high open rate. These are all things that are considered a success. Just like for a restaurant owner, they would keep track of which of those dishes do their customers like a lot. Or for a fitness trainer, which of those workout videos gets more saves or more shares. Because all of this would be a clear sign that it's actually working for you. And then you want to know what's not working so well. Is there anything that you're doing that's not giving you the result that you want, or is causing you to have some kind of blockage? You want to make sure that you're recognizing or paying attention to these things so you can pivot and keep pushing forward. You're the only person that can build this brand, so you have to do this audit. Or if you have a particular product or service that never gets ordered or never gets asked for, it might be time for a change or for you to remove it entirely. Another part of the audit is looking at what you can actually control going forward, so you can get closer to your goal, whatever that is. So you want to think about all the different parts of your business that you can actually control. You also want to look at your freebies. Do you have a freebie or opt-in that you lead customers to? Is it actually working? And what piece of content led them there, or what got them to download that freebie? And then, of course, we're not creating content just for the sake of creating content. We always have some kind of offer, some kind of service or product. Did somebody actually book some of those things, and what piece of content led them there? That way you can think about what product or service you need to create content around, so you can focus on that. You want to think about your sales goals, get the numbers. What is your cash goal? Did you meet your goal? How did you meet the goal? Where did those buyers come from? This is how I know something is working. I just took a break off of social media, and while I was taking that break, gratefully, I still had people downloading my freebie off of a video that I created a couple of months ago. So I know that that's something that I need to talk about over and over again. That's how you know what type of content to create. If it's doing well and it's getting people there, create that over and over and over. And an audit can be heavy. If you can do it every week, go for it. But I like to, at minimum, do an audit every single month to see what's going on in my business, because it gives me the confidence to show up better. I don't want to keep showing up and I'm not getting my return on investment in my time. And I know with these audits, my brand is only going to get bigger and better because I'm actually doing the work and taking the steps to correct my mistake and continue to do what's actually working. The audit was a lot. So now we're going to get into the next part. Boundaries are going to be so important. While you're on this journey of building your brand, having boundaries, doing an alignment check is going to be very important. I encourage people to do business without it sacrificing your well-being. So you got to check your capacity. This is where most people miss the mark and why they can't be consistent, because the plan has a whole bunch of loopholes and it doesn't consider the most valuable player, you. This is why I do what I do and why I consider my energy, how I'm supposed to function so much. If I don't know that, how am I going to make this sustainable? How am I going to really commit to building a brand for a whole year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years? So I encourage you to get to know yourself. The best way that you can see it on paper is going to look at that human design chart. That human design chart is going to tell you every single thing that you need to know about how you need to work, what your capacity is like, how you can manifest things, and a whole bunch more. But for now, some things that you can do is consider what your day-to-day tasks are. What are some of the things that you're doing all the time? What are your energy levels typically? How much time can you really really dedicate to content creation every month, every week, every day. The alignment check is also in that all-in-one content planner. So I'll leave the link to that down below. But you want to make sure that you consider every single part of content creation and look at how much time on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, or even a yearly basis that you can dedicate to each of those tasks, because the content creation process is layered, and it's important to do this because this is your plan. This is what's going to grow your brand, and being consistent with this, even for a good 6 months, is going to get you closer to getting more people to see you, building a community, and actually having people talking back to you. The most rewarding part of it all, getting rewarded monetary from your contribution, creating this content and building your brand. Like I said, the content creation process is very layered. So some of those things you want to consider is the research. When you're researching the keywords and the topics, the brainstorming of the content, creating the copy or creating the scripts, the filming, editing the videos or editing the graphics, and scheduling the content. And if you don't know, you may need to experiment or reserve maybe 3 hours for each of those tasks. And if you knock it out quicker, cool. Take a break and move on to the next thing. But you really want to know, how long does it take you to do all of those things? And that way you can know how much time you can truly dedicate to that, so you can create a routine, create a schedule that you can stick to, so you can build this brand in the long run. The third thing that you're going to do when you're building this brand is creating a system. So everybody's system is going to look different. So you have to do whatever works for you. It's not going to be a one size fit all thing. You may have a physical planner, or you might need a whiteboard, or have it on pen and paper, and you need a worksheet to print out. You might have a project management app, a notes app. It's really up to you. But the worst thing that you can ever do when you're building your brand is to leave it all up here in your mind. You will eventually forget the ideas and the thoughts that you have. So at least have it on record somewhere. That's going to be your system. Know your goals. What are some of your content ideas? Write it all down. You are not going to be able to do this in the long run without a system. The next thing that you want to do is set up a consistent sharing schedule. So this is going to be why you should be knowing your boundaries and your energy levels and how much content you can actually create every week, every month, every year. Now that you know how long it takes to do all of those things, you can think about what it realistically looks like posting the content. How often are you going to post this content each week? How many platforms are you going to post on that you realistically think that you can handle? What's going to be your content style? So you want to make the plan and stick to that plan. And a lot of us try to do this all by ourselves, but you should be going out and seeking a supportive network of people. Honestly and truly, you need accountability. You can do it for yourself, but preferably outside of yourself sometimes. So that can mean that you can join memberships. You can get a coach, meet up with some business friends, people in your community, join a Facebook group, get a mentor, but have some kind of supportive network that can hold you accountable while you're building this brand. So when you fall off, somebody can keep you on your toes. And the last thing is the feedback. We're going back to square one. Constantly giving yourself feedback or getting feedback through your support system, however you decide that's going to look like. That's another part of your system. The thing with most of us creatives, we know what we're good at and we do that well, whatever that gift or talent is. But we lack on the business side of things most of the time. And the successful business folks have systems. You need the systems to keep you on track. Everything that we talked about here is a system. And granted, those business people might have other people running their system for them, but it may just be you starting out, or it may just be you forever. And if so, you have to find ways to be creative, but still manage the business better. That's the only way that is going to be sustainable. And that, my friend, is how you are going to become a well-known brand this upcoming year. It's absolutely manageable manageable, but you got to be on your toes. You got to have the plan and you got to stick to the plan. I hope that this reached whoever it needed to reach. Let me know down in the comments which of this resonated with you the most and what are you going to do right away. Again, I am Keisha Andrea, multi-passionate creator, brand photographer turned brand and content strategist. This is why I do this. If we're going to say that we're going to build a brand, we want to make sure that it's sustainable and that we're taking care of ourselves in the meantime. If you would like more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel because I talk about my experiences as a multi-passionate solopreneur and how you can build your business without sacrificing your well-being. I appreciate you for tuning in as always. I love y'all. Happy creating. Peace.